the worst manufacturer of all time. It is no secret that the clothing industry is one of the toughest in the world. But when a company uses that to its advantage by sacrificing employees with miserable salaries, it is no wonder that it's in the eye of the storm. SHEIN is a company that has achieved in a short time what fashion giants have taken perhaps decades to achieve. Its growth has been such that it has reached a market valuation of more than $100 billion. Although apparently, it hides a side beyond the money that has brought it many problems. And today, we're going to discover what that is. Hello, my name is Dorian and welcome once again to Fashiony-Magazine. Today, we will talk about the history of SHEIN, a company that has achieved almost in record time an exponential growth to such an extent that it has surpassed fashion giants such as Levi's, Zara, and Ralph Lauren. But how did it become a market leader? Who was behind the brand? Is its success leveraged on the suffering of thousands of families who were condemned to work under subhuman conditions without any benefits? Are their designs plagiarized, or are they really designed by them? If this is the first time you've watched one of my videos, I invite you to subscribe and turn on notifications. Now, let's get started. It is true that fast fashion turns out to be cheaper. And if you have access to the online store SHEIN, you will surely be surprised with the prices. And the price difference is considerable. A brand sweater can cost $35 approximately, but in SHEIN, you can get it for up to $9. This is why millions of people make their purchase without knowing or without taking into account how bad this brand is. This company was founded in 2008 by Chris Yu, a digital marketing expert who was dedicated to selling wedding dresses under the name SheInside. The short form for its current name, SHEIN, was adopted about 5 years later. Although SHEIN has not disclosed it, several media outlets claim that its parent company is based in China. It focuses on women's fashion and has more than 20 million visitors per month. This online clothing store works just like other e-commerce stores. All you have to do is log on to their official website, choose the clothes or accessories of your choice, and pay. So far, everything seems pretty normal. However, the brand is being accused of plagiarism. This is because apparently it copies designs from other small fashion brands. In fact, several brands have made it known that their customers have sent them photos of identical copies of their products. Brands such as Velfrey have shown their frustration with this situation, since SHEIN, making use of its fast fashion clothing, has been copying their designs. And so, there are many brands that have been disappointed to see that SHEIN sells replicas of their garments at a low price. Flaws of Contour is another brand that claims that SHEIN has appropriated some of their designs. Even on their Instagram social networks, they compared their designs with SHEIN's, where you can tell that there was plagiarism. But you're probably wondering, what happens with SHEIN's garments? Usually, before making an online purchase, people have an estimated budget to know how much to spend. Now, at SHEIN, money is enough to buy a large number of clothes or accessories. But is it really worth saving by shopping at SHEIN? Let's look at SHEIN's dark side, the exploitation of its workers. In recent months, the brand has been facing accusations of exploitation. Cheap clothes are made by workers in complicated conditions. This can be seen through images circulating on the internet. The place where they sew, assemble, and stay several hours a day do not meet the requirements of comfort and hygiene that workers deserve. This brand is produced in countries with cheap labor. Therefore, they have long working days and make a large number of products per day. And the pay can be approximately $6 per hour on a piece rate basis. The pay per item model is also known as piece rate. What that means is that the payment is based on the number of garments a worker completes. The worker receives a specific amount of money for each piece completed. That is their rate of pay. This just forces them to work at a disadvantage because it means that their work could be rejected for quality issues, which means they don't get paid. Also, there is no security because you don't get paid if there's no work available. who does that these days? While it is true that 80% of the people working in SHEIN clothing manufacturer are women, it is no less true that their factory bosses are men. As a result, women are exposed to greater vulnerability to job discrimination without any possibility of climbing within the company. In other words, it's as if there was a time jump. SHEIN's factories are stuck in the 19th century, where women were slaves to low-paying, long-hour work. But it gets even worse. In November 2021, a new report emerged with some super shocking data about the work culture in China's SHEIN factories. Several staff members at 6 sites in Guangzhou were found to be working 75 hours a week, according to Swiss advocacy group and NGO Public Eye. Public Eye researchers visited 17 factories supplying SHEIN at its parent company Zoe Top. They conducted interviews with 10 workers in 6 of those cities and reported that those they spoke to were working 3 shifts a day, often having only 1 day off a month, a truly cruel and exploitative act of labor. SHEIN is not only in the eye of the storm for its terrible working conditions, but also for its low-quality garments. SHEIN's clothes are made with low-quality fabrics. They're made of polyester, oil derivatives, and nylon. They also use other synthetic fabrics that are harmful to the environment. Consequently, behind the brand's cheap prices, there are many disadvantages that are being hidden. SHEIN has also been criticized for contributing to and being a purveyor of fast fashion. This type of fashion is associated with high levels of pollution and clothing of the lowest quality. Therefore, they are short-term disposable products and belong to a fast-paced consumption model. And while it is true, low prices make us believe that we will save a lot as consumers. However, this does not consider the long term, because in the end, we have to pay the external cost for the unsustainable production of cheap clothing. That is why personally, when I see that a garment has a very cheap price, I consider it as a single-use item. In conclusion, while we contribute our grain of sand for the growth of fast fashion, we support the ugly side of fashion, which harms many people. Another reason why we should be wary of SHEIN is that it is a company that cannot be easily reached. They do not have phone numbers or a customer service channel with which you can solve your problems. Just enter pages like Trustpilot and you will see hundreds of negative comments for various reasons, such as delays in delivery times that should be 6 working days and end up being more than a month and a half. Garments that have arrived damaged and are not returned. Lack of personalized customer service. Only chats where you receive automatic responses. Even on their Twitter social networks. Day after day, they receive strong criticism from dissatisfied users who have bad experiences with their products and have not received any response from the company. Why do we continue to support labor exploitation? Why buy cheap garments at the expense of hundreds of people who suffer making it? There is no denying that SHEIN is a brand that has grown exponentially in recent years, especially after the confinement. But we can't turn a blind eye to the negative effects it has on the world and society. Will you continue to support the destruction of the planet with your money? Let me know in the comments what your experience with SHEIN has been. That's all for today's video. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and turn your notifications on so you don't miss any new videos. See you next time.